What's up, guys? This is 2Bucks. I know I haven't come out with a new commentary video in over a week. A couple reasons for that. You guys probably don't really care. You just want to hear me talk about something and make fun of it. But, just briefly, I've been quite busy in real life and whatnot, getting into colleges and stuff, Asian type things. And for me, it actually takes a bit of time to think of a good idea for a commentary because I don't really want to talk about something that a bunch of other people have talked about. So I like to think of something original to talk about, at least, in the gaming community anyway. And the main thing I wanted to discuss today is how easy it is for people to become sheep. And I've been watching, some YouTube videos over the past couple weeks, and I've noticed this on YouTube, and I'm going to talk about how it is on YouTube and how it is in real life as well. And what I mean by this is how easy, I've noticed, it is for people on YouTube to make their audience do something, think something, or feel a certain way. It is so easy for a person with a lot of influence on YouTube to all of a sudden say, this particular YouTuber is not cool anymore. You guys really shouldn't like him, and you should go dislike all of his videos, spam his Xbox gamer tag with, tons of hate, and talk shit about him all the time. And a lot of people who have never even heard of this guy before will actually go on his channel, do all this stuff, and harass him. It's also very easy for someone on YouTube to come up with all sorts of false claims on another person on YouTube. Claim that they've been scamming people out of money, paying people to make accounts and subscribe to them and all that. And a lot of people would believe that just because it came out of somebody else's mouth. The person wouldn't really even have to come up with any factual evidence to prove this. All he would really have to do is say it, and people would believe him. People will basically hate someone on YouTube, no matter what they do, even if they have never even heard of him, just because someone influential also hates that person. On the flip side, if someone has no talent on YouTube whatsoever, and someone influential all of a sudden decides this person's cool, starts hanging out with him, promoting him, then the person with no talent is going to become very popular on YouTube. Now, I am being pretty general about all of these things. Obviously, not everyone is going to automatically like a person just because someone influential told people to like him. But there are a lot of people, and I would say a significant number of people, that would just blindly do that. And people might also hate someone just because everybody else also hates them. For example, G-Unit. G-Unit faked a nuke video, which I'm pretty sure is not the worst thing he's ever done in his life, and it's probably not worse than the worst things anyone else has ever done in their life. But pretty much everyone hates on him because everybody else does, and it's just a cool thing to do that. And from my perspective, it's actually kind of scary because at any moment, if someone with, 200,000 subscribers decides that they don't like me anymore, they can easily just make a video trash-talking me, coming up with all these lies, and immediately I will become the most hated person on YouTube, and there's really no way I can do to get out of that. I could have done literally nothing wrong. I could have not offended anyone, but just because this one person decided that he doesn't want me to be successful, I could just get anally raped by him. However, all of this was just an example that I'm giving you so you guys can kind of get what I'm saying. In reality, stuff on YouTube, it doesn't really matter that much. Getting hated on YouTube is not going to ruin someone's entire life. At any moment, you can just decide to stop making YouTube videos. But what worries me is that if people are so eager to follow and be sheep on YouTube, how eager are they going to be in real life? It makes me think about how easily governments can use propaganda to just brainwash millions of people at a time. People who live in the United States tend to criticize other countries for using propaganda on their citizens. For example, we think people in Russia, North Korea, China are all under the heavy influence of propaganda when we don't realize how easily propaganda can affect us. There's really nothing that greatly separate us from people in those countries. And when I talk about America, I could be talking about any democratic Western country that anyone else who's watching this video are from. We are just as susceptible to propaganda as people who are from less democratic countries. But we somehow think that since we're from a country that believes in freedom and the voice of the people, that our government would never use propaganda to affect us. But in fact, humans actually have the capacity to do many terrible things if they are influenced to do so, Just think about Germany in the 1940s and late 30s. If you think about it, those were human beings doing that. And we're human beings. That could have been us doing that. That thought might scare some of you, and some of you might even think, oh, I would never commit genocide on millions of people. I would never support that. In fact, you would. You would definitely support that. You person who is getting indignant at your computer screen. And I don't think I'm better than any of you. I know that I would do that too. And it doesn't really even have to be the government that sends out this propaganda that changes people's minds. It could be video games. Think about all the video games you've played in the past couple years. Think about the bad guys in those video games. You know, generally people from the Middle East, communist countries, countries like Russia, you know, are also very popular. When you play those games, you start getting a negative perspective on these countries. And you might not even realize it. And if you're a person sitting in the United States right now, and you think that you are invincible to propaganda, and you think that the United States itself, the people of the United States, would never be susceptible to propaganda, just think about the word communism. Imagine yourself going into the middle of a very busy shopping mall and screaming, "I am a communist." People would probably turn around and look at you with shock, disbelief, possibly hate, and basically think you're some sort of shit human being who is out to destroy democracy or whatever other stereotypes there are against communists. But is there really any rational reason for us to even hate communists? No, communism is just a form of government and an economic system. It basically calls for an end to social classes and private property and stuff like that. I don't want to go into a 10-minute lecture about how communism works. If you want that, you can go look it up on Wikipedia or something. Is it evil? No, it's just an idea that someone, aka Karl Marx, had to try to make a government system that works for people. And in the end, it just doesn't really work that well. But is there really any reason to hate it? No. But the government, you know, throughout the Cold War, and even nowadays, have given the word such negative connotation that we begin to fear it. And fear leads to hate. If in the United States you were very openly communist, and you went around telling everyone you were a communist, I really do not think you would be a very popular person. People might even avoid you. People might be even scared of you. And that is the effect that propaganda can have. After the recent wars that the United States have had in the Middle East and the 9/11 bombings, people's opinions about Muslims have also greatly declined. Some people might even get scared if they see someone dressed in a, Islamic traditional outfit in public. And there's people that do hate crimes on mosques and stuff in the United States. And I think most of this hate originates from stuff like the government, the media, movies, where a lot of the bad guys these days are from the Middle East, and video games. And it all results from people not being able or not willing to think for themselves. And even people who try to convince themselves that they are free thinking and they're open-minded are not as invincible as they might think either. There are many subtle ways, many subconscious ways that people of influential places can affect us, and that is a very scary thought as well. In fact, this entire video has been me imposing my thoughts on you. Ha 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 ha!